Here.
Ken Bruno. Connie Wang. Here. Paul Kim.
Here.
John Mattson.
Here.
Dr. Cirillo.
Here.
Mrs. Gillis. Here. Dan Montemuro. Here. Richard Weber.
Here.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, I hereby state that adequate notice of this regular meeting has been provided to the public by a written notice dated May 10th, 2015. The meeting notice has been posted on bulletin boards located inside school buildings and at the Board of Education building, communicated to at least one of the board's designated newspapers, and filed with the Borough Clerk of Palisades Park. Can we have a minute approval for our March 3rd meeting?
Make a motion to accept?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeffrey Wu.
Yes.
Howard Donovan.
Yes.
Marie Alvarez.
Yes.
Connie Wang. Yes. Paul Kim.
Yes.
John Mattson.
Yes.
First off, I would like to congratulate Maria Alvarez for completing her board certification. She is now a certified board member. New Jersey School Boards Association will be honoring her at Maggiano's in Hackensack on May 5th. All board members are invited. Also for Dr. Tom Matarazzo, they will be honoring him as well for his 30th year, I believe, 30th year of service. So, yep, I don't think he's here tonight though. So, okay. That's all for me, Dr. Superintendent. Dr. Cirillo, sorry. Dr. Superintendent.
Very quickly, I think it's important, with all else going on, that Saturday, a tragedy occurred in Ecuador. Yesterday, I got a beautiful letter sent to me by a 7th grade child. And I think in times like this, children remind us why we're in the profession we are. But I am running with this full force. A young lady at Lindbergh Elementary School, Kaylee Chung, asked me to organize a district-wide effort. It was with extreme pleasure to receive a phone call from a parent today who said that they have a contact with the consulate's office of Ecuador. Nancy Otero, who is here tonight, will be our go-to person. Tomorrow we are going full force as a district to start any sort of drive we can as a district. Again, we always give. I think this is a event that we, again, have to find within ourselves an opportunity to give back. So, Nancy, I thank you for being here. If there are any questions, I know I asked her to be here. She has a very personal contact with the consulate's office of Ecuador. But this is going full force tomorrow, all 3 schools, and I will put this on our website and communicate this throughout the community. Secondly, as is done at every April Board of Ed meeting, I get to communicate to you our tentative dates for graduation. They are tentative. Being that 6th grade will be promoted this year, to the high school. We are going to have a separate ceremony for them. They deserve it. They are leaving Lindbergh as well. 6th grade promotional ceremony will be Thursday, June 16th. 7th grade promotional ceremony will be Monday, June 20th. 12th graders will graduate from Overpeck County Park on Tuesday, June 21st. Okay? All tentative. We are finalizing kindergarten graduation. Very likely, it will be piggybacking Monday, the 20th, or Tuesday, the 21st, but that will be communicated within the next couple of days. And finally, I know there was much to do in any educational circle today about park. I think I will rest assure all of you, we are doing a phenomenal job. There was a major network problem throughout the state of New Jersey today. Any school that tried to start the test was not allowed on. We did not try to start. We did not start the test. We're lucky that kids didn't add to their anxiety levels. But again, fortunate enough, there are makeup days. We will be making up today's session in the event anyone asks the question. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the report of the board attorney, Mr. Grover.
I have 2 issues we need to discuss in closed session and then act on both of them.
Okay, thank you. Is that all?
Yes.
Okay. Next is the report of board committees. Finance, Mr. Mattson.
Before you, you have 8 resolutions. I move on the consent agenda on all 8 resolutions.
Is there a second? a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Okay, I just have a quick question.
Yes.
On number 3, I'm assuming that we're doing this because our district can't handle it? We don't have any?
It is in the best interest of this child and the child study team that he, based on his disability, be it at an outside district, yes.
Okay. And number 2, I'm assuming that's a mandate.
Yes, that is given to us by this county. Region 5 is who we are subsidized by from the county level. That is a new rate for them.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Jeffrey Wu,
Yes.
Howard Donovan,
Yes.
Maria Alvarez.
Yes.
Donnie Wang,
Yes.
Paul Kim,
Yes.
John Mattson.
Yes.
Let me take this one.
Okay. Yes, please. Buildings, grounds, Mr. Donovan?
Okay, in front of you, you have two resolutions relative to the use of the school facilities. I move that the board approve both of them on consent agenda.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeffrey Wu,
Yes.
Howard Donovan,
Yes.
Maria Alvarez.
Yes.
Donnie Wang,
Yes.
Paul Kim,
Yes.
John Mattson.
Yes.
Report of Personnel Committee, Mr. Donovan.
Yes, Mr. President, before you, you have 9 resolutions for personnel. I move that the board approve all 9 on consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. Number 7, who, anybody know if we're using James Murphy Design? I see.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Jeffrey Wu,
Yes.
Howard Donovan,
Yes.
Maria Alvarez.
Yes.
Donnie Wang, Paul Kim,
Yes.
John Mattson.
I vote yes on all of them except number 4. I have to abstain. Yes. I'm sorry, I recuse.
Next is report of curriculum. Mr. Kim, would you be able to take that, please?
Yes, we continued our meeting, negotiation meeting with, my fault. No, there's nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. Negotiations, Mr. Kim.
We recently had a second meeting with the Teamsters custodial maintenance, meeting today. I'm happy to report that, it's in progress. We have another meeting set for June, and hopefully by June we'll settle that.
Oh, that sounds good, thank you. Policy, Ms. Alves.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. PTA, PTSA student activities, Ms. Ryan.
Before you, there are 5 field trip resolutions. I move on all 5 resolutions.
I'll second.
Any discussion? No discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeffrey Wu,
Yes.
Howard Donovan,
Yes.
Maria Alvarez,
Yes.
Donnie Wang,
Yes.
Paul Kim,
Yes.
John Mattson.
Yes.
Calendar, food services, Ms. Alves, would you be
In
honest?
front of you, you have one resolution for the 16-17 school calendar. I'll make a motion that we accept this.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Just question, just as the county calendar also?
John, the county doesn't do a general calendar anymore. I think you have many districts that honor many different religions or ethnicities. So we kind of, on behalf of Angie Burns, who was on this committee, a teacher from each building, we come up with the calendar as
Oh,
a
okay.
team.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, roll call, please.
Jeffrey Wu,
Yes.
Howard Donovan,
Yes.
Maria Alvarez,
Yes.
Donnie Wang,
Yes.
Paul Kim,
Yes.
John Mattson.
Yes.
Any old business? New business?
Can I just mention one more thing?
Yes.
So actually there's, on May 11th, there's going to be, an induction ceremony for the Honor Society at Palisades Park Junior Senior High School. So I just wanted to congratulate them and just mention it in our meeting tonight.
Thank you. Any other new business? Okay. Okay, can we may have a motion for audience participation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Hi, Melissa Lombardo. I would like to speak on behalf of the teachers' aides. I understand that the school budget was unfortunately voted down, but we are still here to talk to you. We have been told many times how we are the backbone of the schools. Along with helping the teachers with everyday classroom activities, we also go outside in all weather, whether it's cold, below freezing, snow and rain, to open up car doors and get children out of car seats. We also work in small group settings for lessons, and in some cases, we even work one-on-one for extra support. And this is just the regular education classes. The preschool and special education aides work either one-on-one or with a couple kids in one aide. They help with potty training, which may include changing diapers. There are aides that get kicked, hit, bit, and even spit upon. They teach them gross motor skills, socialization, language, life skills, and many, many more important things. Some of us aides are pulled to cover classes for IEP meetings and translation. All of us aides, whether in regular education, special education, one-on-one, or group settings, work very hard and deal with a lot. There are aides that have worked in this building since it opened, and there are some that have worked for this district for many more years. We are asking for a more fair pay scale with no caps on it. It has also come to our attention that there are a couple aides that receive benefits to no fault to Dr. Cirillo. We would like to know what the criteria would be to extend those benefits to the rest of us. We all work above and beyond our duties because we love our job, but more importantly, we do it for the kids.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience? Yes.
I was here last month. My name's Cindy Pereira. And I had spoken about the condition of Lindbergh School and the facade and my concerns over it. And professionally, how I felt about it. And since then, I spoke to Mr. Cirillo, who was kind enough to provide me with a couple of letters that were some inspections that occurred. One was back on September 27 in 2013, and the other one was November 15 in 2013. We're talking approximately 3 years ago. Okay, the first one is one that I have highlighted, and it can be for anybody's view, any parent, any teacher, because this really does affect all of you. And it very clearly states that after reviewing the observation and recommendations from Pannoni Associates, which I'm assuming is the engineering company, this is from the architect, current conditions of the facade is a health and safety risk to the students and the staff of Lindbergh Elementary School, and should be considered an emergent condition. The letter from November 15th, 2013 isn't quite as harsh, saying that basically it isn't looking as if the structure is going to come down at any time, but it is in their opinion also that the brick facade will not structurally fail, but the recommendation is that the facade be re-inspected again in March of the following year, which to my knowledge has not occurred. And it needs further study evaluation that needs to be performed in the near future. I have to tell you that for me, sleeping at night, knowing, sitting as a council member, sitting as a long-term, sitting as once, about 100 years ago, as a teacher's aide, I totally agree with Melitza and that the teacher's aides are so incredibly important and they deserve their due. It's very concerning to me because I know that I'm not going to wake up one day and know there was any kind of a collapse or an injury to any one of the teachers sitting here or to anyone's child that's in that cafeteria or that's in any part of the building where something that could happen. I'm in the property management business. I know what happens structurally. I have 67 high-rises just along this Gold Coast here. When you have any type of a facade breach and you have any type of an infiltration along a short period of time, you have an issue. None of us really know behind that facade, which has come away from the building, what is really going on. 3 years ago, they're telling me it's a health and safety risk. This is 3 years later, so what does that mean? Today you're looking at it standing, and tomorrow one of you get a call that there was a collapse. No child should even be in that. I have to tell you, I was disturbed by this. I think the board needs to take immediate action. I'm not looking to wait for, are we going to do an expansion? Are we going to do a renovation? This isn't about renovation or expansion. This is about safety for the children and for the staff. This isn't about anything that's political or beyond that. It's about, do we really all sit here and say we really care about our staff and our children? Then something needs to be done about this. I found it disturbing. I'm not on Facebook, but I received today an email, and I don't know who posted this because, again, I am not on Facebook, but there was a quote that building and renovations do not educate our students. I totally agree. This isn't an aesthetic situation. This isn't we're going to make the school look pretty. This isn't going to be we do need 3 more classrooms. This is about, will any of you sleep tomorrow night well if, God forbid, something happens tomorrow and any child is injured or the worst case scenario killed by something that we've all spent time ignoring over 3 years because we couldn't spend $50,000 to make the initial repair way back 3 years ago. So I think all of you, this should be forefront on your mind. I think the board has a responsibility. This now becomes to me even more, and Mr. Barbarone can really speak to that, a legal issue, knowing that this is in our hands and that we know that this is the situation. We need to do something about this immediately. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
I do have 3 questions. I'll ask one. If anybody else would like to ask a question, I'll sit down and then I'll stand up again as we go along. I'm not going to try to monopolize your time. The first question I have, I've been waiting 4 months to hear something from curriculum as far as our next generation science standards go. I know in Bogota, as Director of Curriculum Instruction, I've been working with several of the schools creating the curriculum that is due for us on September 1st for 6th through 12th grade. I'm just wondering what we're doing as far as getting ready for next generation science standards. Has the high school been sending representatives out to help write curriculum? Are we writing the curriculum ourselves? If we are we spending money in order to give hours to teachers that are writing it? Because it is a hefty undertaking. It's not like with the past curriculums where the state would release a new curriculum. You basically updated the curriculum that you had, you put the new date on it, the board approved it, and you moved on. The next generation science curriculums, if you've seen them, are entirely different. And there are a lot of big steps that go into doing it. I know that in the 4 months I've been working on it with 7 other schools, we've written 4 of the 7 curriculums that we have to do. And that's over months with many different people that are going on. So I was hoping today with Tom appearing, because he is the curriculum person on the board, but maybe one of you guys can answer what we're doing as far as curriculum goes.
I'd be more than happy to.
Okay, and just to go along with that, how are we then updating the science classrooms to handle next generation science standards?
Well, I was very happy to see that you are on the board, so maybe you can help us with some of these concerns.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank
More importantly, I think, when we talk curriculum, the Bergen County Curriculum Consortium
Yes.
is something we are a member of.
Yes.
Bill Spooner is our math and science supervisor. He was more than happy to volunteer his time to go out to the county
Mhm.
to work on the curriculum. For September 2016, the mandate is 6th through 12th.
Yes.
We are well on our way to having all of those generation science standards approved by the board prior to September 2016. With that being said, we have PD, days, and many of our staff at the high school has been working on this. We have a whole new, and again, I was taken aback to read what you said regarding STEM this morning, but it's a First Amendment right. We have done more work with regard to STEM. Our Math and Science Academy is not math and science anymore. It's a different generation.
Yes,
As you're
I
saying,
helped design before I left.
again, so you know we're well on our way.
Yes.
The teachers are much involved,
Mhm.
much involved.
I just-
They are rewriting our curriculums as we speak, Anthony.
Okay. The Bergen County Curriculum Consortium, which I'm also a part of,
Yep.
what they sent through was not exactly
It's a template.
curriculum. It's a template for
Template.
model lessons and for
Correct.
standards.
Yep.
But I'm more worried about the actual writing of the curriculum to make
Correct.
sure that we're aligned with the state.
And I think no one better than the teacher that will perform those duties in the classroom to write the curriculum.
Okay.
So we are, again, I will tell you, I think we are in a good place right now.
All right, so hopefully for next month, I can maybe see more concrete.
I would love to share with you next week, tomorrow, but you know, again, I know you
just
don't
wanna see
start
where
in
we are,
that.
because I'm worried that I just want to be sure that we're on task.
We are,
Okay.
I will reassure you. You had a couple other questions?
Yes, I don't know if anybody else had anything. Oh, yes.
Oh,
the
sure,
update.
thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
I don't know who you are, I'm sorry. That's okay. I apologize for not knowing.
Everybody else does.
I apologize then. So as far as the classrooms, I was a vice principal with Nick Cipriano and Mark Hayes when we walked the buildings. And when Lindbergh Elementary School had their lab reconstructed, which I think came out beautifully,
Mhm.
we said it's time to address the high school.
Yes.
This is not a budget concern. This is a referendum for the community to vote on. Listen, I understand what happened yesterday. We move forward. If we're ready to move and put a referendum forward, I
Was there
sure,
money in the current budget to do that? Was
there's
there
no
line
way.
items in-
Anthony, I think you're talking millions of dollars to
Yes, I
update a
understand,
lab.
yes.
And there's no money in the budget to update a lab at this point.
Okay.
I thank you for reminding me not to answer that.
Okay, look.
Joe,
Yes.
back to my subject, again, to the budget.
Yes.
There was also nothing allocated in the budget for that repair.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes, I want, again, Cindy, since I didn't answer or speak to that issue, we were off last week. I followed up with a preliminary meeting again with the architects. In December or January, excuse me if I'm wrong on the date here, of 2015, the state of New Jersey has grants available to us. We were afforded 40% of a grant to finish that project. We're still not moving. I'm very happy to report to you tonight, and the reason for my meeting last week was the grant was extended till June 30th of 2016. It behooves us to take advantage of free money. It behooves us. You don't sleep at night, guess what? I don't sleep at night.
We have this discussion.
We have time now, and let's not lose this money again. June 30th, 2016. If it has to be a referendum, by all means, we need to vote in favor of it, because these are concerns of the district.
Can I just ask why for 3 years none of that was addressed?
I believe it was addressed. I think the fact that we put forth the grant proposal to the state, I think I was taking an initiative that said we must repair it, just like leaving the gate up there. I have conflicting reports. I'm not taking the gate down. I can have a fire hazard on my hands that the fire department said we are in compliance with now. I'm not taking the gate down,
Joe, does it take 3 years for consideration for a safety issue?
not one bit. Not one bit.
So where did that lie? I'm curious. It seems to me, I'm just trying to really be straightforward.
Cindy, we've all worked in the same
3 years is a
community.
very long time for consideration.
It's not-
And budget after budget, every year there's a budget.
But it's not consideration anymore. These are referendum items that need to go to the public. I think Anthony's point is very valid. We have a math and science program in that high school that has gotten kids into Yale, to Harvard, to Princeton. Need we say more? That's with what materials and supplies we have at the schools. Again, we make do with it. They work their tails off. They deserve compensation. It's hard at times to do what you believe is in the best interest of all when these are the cards you're dealt. I'm not making excuses. I'm being a realist.
No, I'm not looking for excuses, I'm just looking for why for 3 years.
I can't go-
Nobody from the board, nobody from the administrative side stepped up and said, this has to be dealt with.
Cindy, I
This
can't
is
go back
something
and
that's
say,
safety.
Cindy, I can't change the past. What I can tell you is I have on my desk a grant extension to June 30th, 2016. I'm making it public. We better take advantage of it.
Right. Great. Good to hear, thank you.
Sure.
Yes.
Just a question, and excuse me if because I've been having a coughing problem that I'm trying to get over, and when I try to talk loud, it's gone. But I thought I heard a question in Melissa's and the aides when you made a statement, but no one answered her. Was there a question in there, or was it just a statement you wanted to read?
Was it a question?
Yeah, I didn't hear anybody answer it.
As far as benefits,
Yeah.
I think
I thought it was everything, salaries, benefits, what's.
Salary, benefits.
Well, I'm not, again, Melissa, I'll do the best I can because that's all I can do. And I'm not a miracle worker here, but I will tell you this much. I inherited a lot of things that needed to be cleaned up. And I think one of the things that needed to be cleaned up was consistency amongst all of the aides. I appreciate you being here tonight. I appreciate the work you've done. I've done as much as given you a contract with days, and you know that wasn't in the case years past regardless. That's neither here nor there. Everyone could be entitled to benefits. It's more money that comes out of your pay. you work more hours, you are entitled to benefits. Right now, with Obamacare, Lala Gillis is sitting here. Again, do we want to take more from you? It's,
You know,
Effie,
I don't
it's a
have a
case-by-case situation.
Okay.
If everyone is in favor of it, again, with regard to the budget, I don't know where we stand. It goes to the council. We'll know in a few weeks, but if that's something that this board and financially it can be afforded, hey, look, it's not, again, you reminded me, I don't live here.
Yeah.
It's not my money, it's not my tax dollars. I'll do what I can. It's in the best interest of all of you.
Well, I can give you my pledge now that there's not gonna be any cuts in any salary line items or anything to do with the teachers, the aides, the custodial staff or nothing like that.
But more importantly,
We're
the
looking
children.
at-
The
we're
children
looking into-
can't suffer.
Exactly. We're looking into exactly where the allocations are, because I don't think any of us, and the reason why this came up is because your own board members never had a chance, for what I've seen over the past couple of meetings, to fully understand what was in the budget. We may not cut anything. We may add to it, we may cut $1, we may, who knows? Maybe it's really rich and we're gonna end up cutting it. We don't know. We haven't had a look at it yet. So the rumors that have been flying around, that have been saying about there's gonna be layoffs and cuts.
They're not coming from me.
We're all for. So
And I don't know who's starting rumors.
I'm not
This
saying
was
that- I'm not
defeated
saying
last
Joe,
night,
Joe,
not
please,
today.
Believe me, and I'll say this publicly, I know they're not you, I didn't say that, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying.
How
there's
long
rumors
does this
going around.
process take? Like
Well,
that before you know?
it's a very quick, fairly quick process for them to get it to us, schedule a meeting, we'll have it at Borough Hall. The budgets will be in place in the right time frame that it needs to be in place, so everybody knows where to go.
They will receive a packet from the board office tomorrow, as well as the county superintendent.
This is my cough, I was telling you. There's other rumors that've been flying around. Built into contracts, is there a bonus built into your contract?
Absolutely.
What's the criteria that you needed to hit for those bonuses?
5 merit bonuses that the
Yeah.
board approved, and upon their approval, I am awarded compensation.
And have you hit those bonuses in the past?
I have.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
all right. I don't know.
When would we be able to see what the merits were for the bonuses?
The actual merits,
Yeah,
they're at the board office.
they're at the board office.
Board has a right to see them, everyone has a right to see them.
And did the board at the meetings when you would have been paid out for them, vote for the merits
Absolutely.
that were done?
I'm not gonna take $1 from anyone without a resolution, if that's what you're getting at.
No, that's.
Believe me, that's not the game I'm playing. No problem. They make a resolution.
Yes.
Just, if I could for a second, just to respond with regard to, this is not unique to Dr. Cirillo.
No,
Yeah, I
Understand that,
also
these
superintendents that have the merits.
Yep.
merit, quantitative and qualitative, when our wonderful governor put in all the caps on the superintendents that made most of them leave and go to New York State, they said, okay, so you can only make X amount of money depending on whether you have a high school, how big you are, et cetera, et cetera. They then said you can get 2.5% bonuses and 3.5%, whether it's quantitative, qualitative.
3 1/3.
3 1/3. It comes to roughly, for somebody making about 155,000, about 24 to 25 they could earn, okay? You look at most districts, they do. It's in the contract. What happens is when the board does the evaluation, they come up with the goals that should be met in order to meet and get your bonuses, okay? So I just don't want anybody to think that that's unique to Dr. Cirillo, it's all over. The board absolutely, to answer your question, I think, has to vote on every dollar they spend, and if they don't, they're in trouble, and I'm in real big
The
trouble.
goals for 2016 were approved after the county approves them, and was approved in October of 2016.
Okay.
And again, if I don't meet those goals, I don't receive
Yeah,
payout.
that I understand. I just want to know what the goals actually were, that's pretty much what the questions were.
I'm just gonna follow up, Joe, and I absolutely agree. I mean, you've gotta have the goals, you need to hit certain criteria. And by making it that way, that is only better for the school, because when you hit that, level, when you hit your goals, when you do get to the point where you're, you may get a bonus, that means you did something good for the schools. I sold my company to Waste Management, and yes, we had goals that we had to make for us to get our bonuses. The only way we could do it was to work hard. So that meant you worked hard, and I'm glad. I'm just saying that this is the first that I'm sure I heard of it, and just asking a question. who set the goals?
I
Were
set
they
the
approved?
goals, they are then approved at the county level by the
So you set your own
superintendent.
goals?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then they're approved by the county, of course,
Yes.
and
Then
then
it
they
comes
come
to the
here.
board for approval.
Yeah.
Upon completion, the board, the county has to be submitted all the documentation. Upon their approval, the
Yeah.
board still has to vote on my compensation.
Sure, yeah. Anyway, we hope you hit your goals every year, because that means you're doing right for the school. We hope that the school does improve. We're hoping that the monies that are in this budget, when we look at it, are allocated correctly. The teachers' aides have been having a hard time for a long time. The teachers' new contracts coming up, the custodial staff, and the building absolutely needs love and tender. So we have a lot of issues to look at. When it comes to stipends and bonuses and all the other fringe stuff that's going on, that needs to be looked at. So, thank you.
Not a problem.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
I would just like to provide my support for the administration and the central office staff because I feel as though they're being characterized as deceitful or not professional in their duties to the school and to the school district. Myself being in a position where I can actually go to every single building every day and play with the staff, the kids, and work with the staff, they've always given me their trust in what I do in my position for any administrator that has left or any supervisors that have left. They've always given me the leeway or the trust that I needed to do my job. And I would hope that the board or the new board would do the same thing, and the town as well, to trust that our administrators and the staff of the school district are doing our jobs professionally and truthfully and genuinely. We don't necessarily work here for the money. My parents have been here for 41 years. And I gotta say, driving to school every day, it is a little disappointing to see that there is a sign that says, vote no for the school budget. It's actually, you're already gone through traffic and then you see this right as you come off of 46 and it says vote no. And it kind of hurts because as, you just mentioned about the bonuses or merit pay that the superintendents get. I think I actually helped Mr. Cirillo achieve one of those, and I do take pride, and I think the staff takes some pride in making sure that all of our goals are met properly. And I just wanted to make sure that they get a fair share of themselves of making sure that someone actually speaks, and since I work with them very closely from day to day, that they do that. And the other point I wanted to make too is that I hope that we can move forward and talk about some of the things that we have done very well that this administration and the board has brought back. And one of those events, and some of these ladies here were very responsible for it, was the fashion show. And I think that brought a great thing for the community. I think the kids loved it. I know the last time we had it was like 10 years ago because I was in it. And so I know that was great, and I know some of the things that Dr. Cirillo has been talking about for years, along with Mr. Cipriano and other school leaders, were, great. We brought back the Hall of Fame, which was a great event last year, the Athletic Hall of Fame. We're going to have the student alumni panel. There's actually students